We're going to be talking about landing pages, which I honestly think may be one of the most confusing terms for newbies in the copywriting space. So I think we should clear some stuff up for them if you're up for that.
Newbies get confused?
You know, it really annoys me they get confused because they should just know this stuff and they shouldn't waste our time asking questions in the comments and watching our videos to learn it. They should just know it.
Hello, everybody, hello. Welcome to another patented proprietary Copy That masterclass. This particular masterclass is going to be the free and introductory version of a masterclass we have in patreon.com/thecopythatshow.
I'm excited for this stream because we're going to be going over a landing page that I wrote. It's kind of like the first piece of copy I've ever written, so that's going to be fun.
We're going to tear you to shreds.
And I'm excited because it's our first time having a cartel member as a guest on the show.
What does that mean?
What?
Very simply, the subtitle to this is How to Write Landing Pages That Don't Suck. The reason why we have that particular subhead is because while our masterclass in the Patreon, you actually get to see Alex write from scratch a landing page. This one is going to be more focused on like what is going to be most beneficial to beginners, which is to know the sort of landmines that are awaiting you when you actually embark upon and set out to write your landing pages. We want you to focus on the things that you need to be thinking about, the things to research, the things to actually structure, and also mostly the things to avoid. But we need to back up and we actually need to structure this particular masterclass like a landing page. So what I'm going to do is show you this, which is why you should care about writing landing page copy in the first place. Now, as you'll see later on in this particular masterclass, what I just did was segue immediately into a section that would ideally start your landing page. So here's a fact. Almost every online business needs landing pages. Alex, you've worked with, I would say, probably about 24 businesses. How many of those businesses needed landing pages?
I can't think of a single business I've worked with that I've not also written a landing page for, unless they just hired me to do an email sequence and it was like a one-off.
Fact 2, landing pages are often the primary profit drivers for online businesses. How does online business work? It's actually pretty simple. You pay money to acquire customers, and then you put out offers to try to monetize those customers. Now, there are many ways to acquire a customer, and there are many ways to monetize a customer, but there's only one way to get them to do both of those things, which is to show them a landing page. Here's the third fact. Every well-constructed funnel, that is the sequence of things that people see in order from being acquired as a customer to being monetized as a customer, you actually need to show them, not always, but often, multiple landing pages. Anecdotally, I was looking at the cheat sheet that I use whenever I'm putting together a launch campaign. Can you guess, Alex, how many landing pages are needed?
Upwards of 5 at the very, very least. You going into double digits?
22.
Dear Lord.
That's hot list sign-up pages. That's microsite pages, training pages, thank you pages. That's the transcript of the VSL, the order form, the upsells, the downsells, the confirmation pages, all of it. That amount of work actually translates very directly to dollar signs for you. Businesses want to pay top dollar for copywriters to write kick-ass landing pages. I mean, after all, what business owner has the time to sit down and write 22 landing pages for a launch?
Some people may be sitting here watching this and going, yeah, but that's a launch campaign. That's a very specific thing. I want you to go to any website you can think of and just click through that website. How many links have they got on that top bar? How many product pages have they got? How many promo pages have they got? How many, etc., etc., etc. Every single business under the sun, any online business at the very least, has landing pages.
Just like a landing page, this is the slide that is instructing us to tell you what you're going to get over the course of this particular video. In any sort of landing page, you have to convince people to keep reading. A very simple way to convince people to keep reading is to tell people what they're going to see and what they're going to get out of your pages.
We're going to break down every single kind of landing page that we can think of and the things you should focus on to learn them. Not only that, we are going to break down some, and I kind of hate saying this, some formulas for writing pages. Now, we sometimes are not so kind to formulas here on Copy That. However, there is some merit, and if you keep watching, we'll explain what they are and why it is actually quite helpful to lean on them when you're writing pages. We're going to go into all of these things and more later on. They got to keep watching though. Like, just watch.
Please. My butler needs a new Lamborghini. He's sick and tired of his
Stop
old Lamborghini.
saying that.
The other thing that you're going to get by the end of this is we're going to walk you through live a review of a landing page that friend of the show, Noah Sokolsky, wrote for his particular production company. And we are going to sort of critique it talk about structurally what's going right, what's going wrong, so that he can learn and you can learn how to improve your landing page copy when you set out to write it. I want to add, this is his first landing page. If you, at any point when you're seeing this landing page, go, oh, I could write something like that. Yes, you absolutely can. We've entered the next part of a landing page structure.
Proof.
Now that we've told you why you should stick around to the end of this particular presentation, well, now we have to explain why you should perhaps listen to us.
You and I, Sean, probably have more experience than the average person writing landing pages and getting paid to write words. I've written for over 180 projects. That's been dozens of businesses. I have quite literally made millions of dollars by doing words on landing pages specifically, a lot of them. I have written hundreds, if not thousands, of individual landing pages in the last 6 years. I like to think I've picked up a thing or two.
I have written reports and squeeze pages that have generated over 400,000 leads. I have written sales letters that have generated over $11 million in revenue. I didn't want to take the time to design a landing page, so I wrote a landing page in a Google Doc and just sent people to Google Doc. And this is for a Copy That campaign for Black Friday of 2023. For a landing page that I wrote in 6 hours on a weekend, that generated $10,000 in revenue. It's worth kind of learning what we have to say about this kind of stuff. We've sold people at this point on landing pages and like why they should care and like what's going on. But it's at this point in the landing page / presentation that we need to explain and take a step back and show people what a landing page even is.
A landing page is literally any page that someone lands on after they've clicked a link. That is the definition of a landing page. By consequence, it means there are lots of different types of landing pages, which we will get into in a few moments. But here on screen are a few examples of landing pages. Now, you may be looking at a couple of those and you may expect to see them. There's a product page there, which I guess you can understand why it's a landing page. There's a sales page, the start of a sales letter. You say, yeah, okay, I kind of get why that's a landing page. But then you also see the homepage of LinkedIn and Deliveroo, a fast food takeaway website. And you may think, are they landing pages? Yeah, they're landing pages. A landing page is not something specific. It just means any page on the internet.
You had that part in this page on this particular slide.
Sean, I'm not doing this to be accurate and follow scripts. Noah, right. You're gonna have to edit this in a magical way.
He will not do that. Let's back up a minute and sort of actually talk about the different kinds of common landing pages you can get paid to write. A squeeze page is very simply any landing page that tries to get a singular piece of contact information. That is, it is trying to squeeze a single piece of information out of somebody. Usually that's an email address. Often it's a phone number. Now, a sales page, you're probably all familiar with. A page that is trying to persuade a person to buy things. A checkout page is a page that has been led to from a sales page or a sales letter or some other thing that enables a person to actually put in their credit card and pay money for a thing. A sales letter is like a sales page, but it's actually structured like a fully cohesive argument. So, for example, a sales page might have like a little section over here with bullets, a little section over here with bullets. There's not a whole lot of cohesion there. A sales letter is almost like reading like a story or book. There is a coherent, logical through line through the whole sales letter. And yes, they are long, and yes, people do read them. Video sales letter is exactly what it sounds like. It is a sales letter that has been converted into something for video. Product page is like a sales page, except the focus is on a singular product. A home page, you ideally never want to treat this as your landing page, but a home page is really just like the actual front page of a website with all the navigation and all the information about a business. Business owners, they get so hot and horny to drive traffic to their home pages. Why, pray tell, is that a bad idea?
You have control of where you get prospects from. What I mean by that is you can decide from which parts of the internet you pull traffic from and throw somewhere else. If you are bringing lots of different kinds of people to your website and you just throw all of them on the same page, what are the chances that they're all going to have the exact same opinions and expectations, considering they've all come from very different places and potentially have very different ideas of what they're going to see? There isn't much chance that that's going to work on all of them. You need to craft and select your landing page in such a way that it makes sense for the different kinds of people who are going onto it.
Over the next few slides, we are going to help you unsuck your landing page copy. The first big tip that we have for writing good landing pages is that good landing pages must pay attention to the customer experience. Who it's speaking to. What did that person see before? How did that person get here? What is that person like? And what does that person want? And how, and this is super important, how do you make this page cohere with that reader's expectations.
Some of these people, they may know me and love me, which is why they're on my email list. To others, it may be the first time they've ever come across me because it's been a cold Facebook ad. What are each of their expectations? What do they want? What motivates them? Why would they even be associated with my business in the first place? Is this completely irrelevant to them, or is there something I can offer them here? And it's making that first connection that you really need to work out to make a landing page stick. In other words, what's the point of having the page in the first place?
Really, what we're kind of talking around right now is a concept called the customer journey. And the customer journey is where copywriting and marketing strategy really meet. A good copywriter understands, okay, this page is going to be receiving traffic from that source, and that source. How do I make the message here connect with all the possible customers and prospects that are coming in from those sources? You're thinking about the strategy and using that to alter and edit and slightly change the copy that you're actually writing on the page. You're actually making what you're writing cohere with that customer journey, what they saw before, where they saw it, how they saw it, and then making the copy match those expectations of what people were expecting when they got to your page in the first place. This is a good example from Alex's big masterclass in patreon.com/thecopythatshow.
I wanted to use a really, really basic example just to show you that landing pages are everywhere and can be anything. On the left of the screen, you see an email. This email simply says to people, hey, do you order medicine? We can get your medicine straight to your door, with a big button that says order prescription straight to your door. Really, really simple email. Ideally, we want people to click that button. What do we know about the person who's clicked that button? The message of do you want medicine straight to your door and ordering medicine online appeal to them. We now need to consider what they click the button for and make sure what we show them matches up to that. It's a concept called message matching, which is you need to make sure the thing that they have expected to see is the thing they are going to see. Let's imagine for a moment that we sent them to the bottom example on the right, which is a frequently asked questions page, which goes straight into general FAQs about the service we're providing, about, hey, I forgot my password, or like, I'm not in the country, can I still use this service? Do you think the person who clicked that email would be happy if they then saw a bunch of questions which are unrelated to the thing they clicked the email for? They would not be happy with that. I have seen this and much worse than this in marketing. Instead, let's look at the top one. Is that the greatest landing page ever with fantastic copy? Like, maybe. Like, it's doing the job that the person who's clicked the button is expecting it to do, in that it's matching the message. They were told, hey, you can order your prescriptions online and you can get it straight to your door. They click, they see order your prescriptions online with a big button saying, yep, you can order prescriptions here. It's transferring them to the place that they can actually do this thing, because obviously you can't do it from an email. You have to do it on a website. And it's got a nice big moving image of a delivery van. So both those things they probably click for are being represented immediately, so they know they're in the right place and they're going to get what they expected. That, in essence, is the simplicity of making sure your landing page has a purpose.
The second of 4 big tips that we have for you is that a good landing page must have a compelling hook or idea. Whenever I mention the word idea, every single newbie under the sun suddenly crawls out from under a rock and says, what the f is an idea? It's okay. Tranquilo, baby. We're here to help you. So what is an idea? An idea, very simply, is a concept or an argument or some observation about the world that seems insightful, meaningful, or important, or as we have here, is emotionally compelling. That is, it has some sort of intrinsic promise or benefit to it. It has some sort of mechanism or means or way of action that allows that promise to be fulfilled. It also has to be intellectually interesting. It just has to be something that gives words to beliefs that people already had. So a very specific example of this would be make $5 million trading options on AI stocks. What? That seems compelling and interesting. There's an argument there, something your brain can sink its teeth into. It also needs to be different from what the reader has experienced before. The easiest way to write subpar copy is to write something that you've seen before. The moment that a reader can identify what you've written and go, oh, I can put that in this bucket. Oh, I've seen that before over here. You've lost the sale, you've lost the click, you've lost the email, you've lost whatever. Novelty is one of the key drivers of things that are getting people to buy these days. It used to be benefits and promises. Now it has to be uniqueness. Not only does it have to be different, but it also has to be relevant to what people want. If somebody wants to get their prescriptions online, but they're not in the UK and thus do not have access to the NHS, is this page going to work for them? Alex?
I would assume no.
I'm talking about this last one. I put it first because I think it's the most important thing, but it's also the thing that I think people have a lot of trouble with, is that your headline and your concept, your hook, the idea of your copy, it needs to be instantly understandable. One of the most common mistakes that I see people make, especially in landing page copy, is that they are confusing. They're trying to put too much in there. They're like, oh my God, it has this benefit and this benefit and this benefit. And also, like, there are these nuances and this stuff. If your idea behind your landing page is not immediately comprehensible, nobody's going to pay attention. This is the third of 4 tips. Your landing page must have a strong or clear offer. Just because I say the word offer doesn't mean that we're selling a particular thing. I'm going to show you examples in a minute where the offer could be put in your email address and we will send you a free newsletter. An offer is just, you give me something, I give you something in exchange. And so every single landing page, ideally, has some sort of clear, strong offer. I always revert back to Todd Brown's SIN strategy. Is your offer being framed as superior to others? Like, are you showing the advantages of what you're trying to do compared to other people? Is your offer being presented as a way to feel irresistible? Is it presented in a way where it's like there's just no objection to actually taking people up on this particular offer? No brainer. It's just completely frictionless. Your offer needs to be presented in such a way that a person would be stupid to say no. This is the final tip that we have for you. Good landing pages must give readers a singular, frictionless action. How many of you have gotten to a landing page and it's just like, oh, you can buy this thing, but if you don't like that thing, you can buy this thing. And if you don't like that thing, well, I guess you could like book a session to call, but also you could put in your email address and we'll call you. Compare that to, if you buy this thing, it will improve some aspect of your life. All you need to do is click here. Which one do you think is superior?
I'm going to have to say the latter.
I'm going to have to agree with you. This all seems pretty rudimentary and basic, but also this is one of the most common mistakes that I see landing pages make. They don't make it clear what the benefits of taking action are. They also don't make it clear what the consequences of not taking action are. People that have been following along, people that have been fans of us for a while and are familiar with our other content, might look at these tips and go, huh, this all seems really familiar. We are talking about RIOA. Good landing pages follow RIOA. One reader, one idea, one offer, one action. If you want to get good at copy, we do have a 5-hour full masterclass. This video, if you go and find it, will make you a better copywriter. And once you're a good copywriter, the money tends to become a sort of afterthought. As I mentioned earlier, we do not approve of templates or formulas, but we're going to give you the ingredients that you want to throw into the stew, the cosmic jumbo of your landing pages. Sorry, we're going to show you the ingredients that you want to throw into the cosmic gumbo of your landing pages. Noah, don't use the original thing because I completely misspoke, and I don't want it to like memorialize forever that I mispronounced jumbo as jumbo. A good squeeze page, that is a page that is designed to get a singular piece of contact information from a reader, somebody who lands on it, only has a few things. These are the ingredients of it. It doesn't have to have all of them, but it has most of them. Has a hook, has a story behind that hook, has deck copy or bullets. I'll show you the difference between the two. Has an offer, has a compelling image, and an easy to use form. That's it. Every single squeeze page has some combination of these things. If your squeeze pages are missing some of these things, you can improve them by adding some of these things. Let's actually take a look at what these things mean in context. What is the hook for the hustle squeeze page?
If I'm interested on tech and business matters, well, I want to improve my knowledge around that. I think I like that as an idea.
What is the deck copy? What is it promising?
It's promising that I can get more smart on this just by reading something that's really simple. It doesn't take very long. I'm speaking like an average reader.
It's a 5-minute newsletter, keeping 2.5 million innovators in the loop. It's not calling them readers, it's calling them innovators. There's an implicit benefit there. Like, oh, I want to be an innovator. What you're doing is you're sort of creating the avatar that the person desires. I want to be this. This is for that. Therefore, the best thing that I can do is use this very easy to use form. And look at this very easy to understand image. You get this. It has this information and it's going to be in your inbox. And these are some examples of the subject lines. So it's completely foreshadowing what you're going to get.
I really like showing some examples of subject lines that are going to be in your inbox. I think that's cool.
You don't bumble your way into 2.5 million readers. This is a good example of a squeeze page. We had a hook. we had deck copy, we had an offer, we had a compelling image, we had an easy to use form. It checked all of the boxes. How about this? 5 stocks for the AI revolution. Caltuck alum Luke Lango predicts the AI revolution is a once-in-a-lifetime investing opportunity with 10,000% earning potential after countless discussions with Silicon Valley insiders. Now he's naming 5 AI stocks starting as low as $1.25 a share in his most anticipated research ever published. Enter your email to get your complimentary copy.
I mean, it's doing a couple of things. When we talk about the hook and the idea, AI is obviously a massive thing at the moment. The idea doesn't need to be more complicated than, hey, here are these 5 stocks for the AI revolution. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that because I'm already intrinsically interested in this topic. And then instead of going the bulleted route of saying, hey, like here's a benefit, here's a benefit, here's a benefit, this shows the story behind this idea and it justifies, well, this is why you're going to get this, making it more interesting. And it's allowing me to see, okay, this is going to deliver on the benefit that I've already promised myself.
The story is that credible person did a lot of research that could allow you to tap a huge opportunity. That's it. What is the offer? Download Luke Lango's latest research report. It's yours free. Reciprocity, exchange, easy to use form. This is working really, really well. Let's look at another example. This is a squeeze page that I actually got from Russell Brunson's Lead Funnels. Free download, the ultimate social media swipe file. You can copy paste. That's a really good way to like make something seem very easy. These 72 proven headline formulas to get more clicks from Facebook, Twitter, and your own blog. 13 piggyback headlines that ethically align your message with trusted brands and authorities. That's the thing that I want. That's a good bullet. We have a good little bit of social proof. We have a clear form. We have an easy to use interface. This checks all the boxes. It has all the ingredients for a good squeeze page.
This knows its audience immediately. The ultimate social media swipe file. And you may look at that and go like, oh, but that headline isn't very complex. It doesn't need to be. If you know that the person who's coming to this page was interested in getting better at social media marketing, this is going to be extremely relevant to them. It works.
This is another example. This is an AI tool that with just a few bits of information and inputs will write a full book for you. It's doing a few things that I want to draw your attention to. This, for a lot of landing pages, especially squeeze pages, this is going to be a common objection that people have, and it addresses it right away. This is a trial, and it doesn't require a credit card. It presents the steps in a very simple way. It has the story in the deck copy. What I think is really good here about the image, the other thing I want to draw your attention to is that it is literally showing you an example of what you get on the other side of signing up. When you do this, you get this. It really doesn't need to be much more complicated than that.
If you think of something and you go, oh, actually, God, yeah, that is relevant. Oh, that is going to kill an objection. Or wow, no, that is going to be really intriguing to the person who's reading because of the kind of person they are or the context of the page. Use it. Don't constrain yourself to like having to do what step 1, step 2, step 3. No credit card required is not something that I've ever seen in an acronym, but look how well it works on this page.
Let's talk about sales pages next. These are the ingredients of a good sales page. Not necessarily a sales letter, which often has different stuff, but a good sales page typically has these things. Not all of them. Again, we're making a cosmic gumbo, and not every single stew you make needs truffle in it. But if your copy isn't doing very well, you might go back to this list and go, okay, what is this missing from this list? Really quick synopsis, and then we'll look at some examples. You want to get attention. Dan Kennedy says, grab people by the eyeballs, and that's absolutely true. Your headline needs to be unignorable. You need to be spending the vast majority of your time writing that headline. It's more important, I would say, than your body copy. You need to immediately address why a reader needs to care. You need to answer the objection, what is in it for me? Nobody is going to arrive at your page caring. Your page needs to make the argument for why they should care. You need to convince a reader why they should continue to read the page. The 2 best ways are either with a bribe, read at the end, and I will show you how to get a thing that you want. Or you can do it with intrigue. I'll explain how to get the secret big mamma jamma method for curing your butt pimples here in a minute. But first, let me talk about something else. You're establishing intrigue there. Also, very close to the beginning, you need to present some sort of big promise, or you need to articulate the sales argument. That is, if you're selling based more on an idea, more on a like, you should do this because it will help you avoid this problem or help you preserve your wealth from this series of, Joe Biden jackboot thugs taking all of your money. yada, yada. This is where you need to make your argument. But if you're selling with a promise, well, this is where you would make your promise. Don't mix these two up. You either want to be selling with a promise or you want to be selling with an idea or argument. A good promise would be, if you read this page, you will learn how to make your own cosmic gumbo or jumbo. I forget what it is. After that, you need to establish credibility. You can establish credibility at any point along the way, and oftentimes you should probably do it peppered throughout. You also need to prove your sales argument. By the way, if you read long-form sales pages, you need to provide proof. If you're writing a landing page, you need to be able to prove that what you're saying is true. You also need to address objections. And oftentimes, if you're not trying to prove that something is working, you need to, at the very least, answer the natural objections that people are going to have. And by the way, people are going to have objections to everything. Then you also should, every now and again, provide a snapshot of the reader's future self. Imagine your life without butt pimples. Imagine a life being able to play with your grandkids again because your back is not in chronic pain. The only way to sell something is to show people the results that they can get. One thing that really helps with this is social proof. Because if you can get testimonials or examples or case studies of people that have undertaken this stuff, that have accomplished this stuff, well, that makes that imagination easy. You also need to make an offer. And as I showed you with the squeeze page and with the sales page, those are going to look very different. With the sales page, it needs to be more robust, and I'll show you what that actually includes in a moment. Let's actually look at some examples of good sales pages. I'm excited about this particular page because I know the copywriter who wrote this, and I found out the other day that this has returned $4.2 million in sales. If you want to sell a lot for a business and command higher and higher payments for yourself, write pages like this. And oh, what does this page look like? It has a headline and a hook that you can't ignore. It has clear benefits. It shows you, improves what you get. It overcomes objections and solves problems. The copy is not super sophisticated. It's just good copy. It overcomes objections, and then it shows some social proof, and then it has a clear offer. It has a clear CTA. This gets businesses millions of dollars in sales. Now, how many boxes did it actually check? Did it get attention? Yes. Did it immediately address why readers should care? Yes. Did it convince a reader to read the page? Take a look. Getting customers in the door is half the battle. That's where we come in. Absolutely it does. Does it present a big promise and articulate a sales argument? Yeah. Did it establish credibility? A little bit later on. It provided proof. It addressed objections. Keep your base full. Oh, look at that. That's forcing the reader to imagine that future self with full bays. It showed social proof, and it made an offer. This page had all the ingredients of a good sales page. And that's why the person who wrote this can say, I'm a multi-million-dollar copywriter. This is a sales letter. This is 106 pages long. This is something that somebody got paid to write. This right now is one of the best-selling, actually, I think it might be the best-selling front-end sales letters at Agora. If you are signed up to the right lists, you can just get the VSL or get this particular transcript. I'm not even a third of the way through the page yet. Here's where the offer gets released, where it gets revealed, where it shows you what we're actually selling. Page 60. These are worth studying, but they're also very niche. Not a whole lot of businesses need copy like this. Info products definitely do. Why? Because there are more objections and nobody wakes up wanting a newsletter. Nobody wakes up wanting a coach. And so the purpose of a sales letter, the only reason why they're so long is because you have to make a clear argument. There's a lot more proof you have to show and a lot more objections you have to overcome. Not particularly interesting. So why don't we go a little bit simpler and look at this particular sales page? Typical product page stuff, where you have a little bit of teaser text up here at the top, a way to take action immediately if this is something that you want, but then below the fold down here, proof of the promise. Exciting stuff, things to get you more enticed. Social proof.
Good product page.
It's a fantastic product page. More social proof, more proof of the promise inherent in beef jerky. Endless flavor, another benefit. More social proof. Irresistibly good, melts in your mouth. More social proof. Customer reviews, that's more social proof. I want to give you some practical advice because I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to make you feel overwhelmed. And now it's going to be a lot of stuff that you need to think about as you sit down and write. First step is go one step removed from your competitors. Go to your competitor's webpage. You look at their landing page. You get in their funnel. And then you just sort of model what they're doing, but a little bit differently. You steal like an artist is what I'm trying to say. In so doing, you capture all the good of what they originally did, but then you've differentiated a little bit, which makes it unique. If you find yourself not able to write an outline.
In our Patreon masterclass, you literally watch me for an hour do an outline of a landing page, and I tell you my thought process, and then I turn that into copy.
If your landing page is going to have bullets, write those bullets first. It clearly is going to force you to think about the benefits and main selling points of what you're writing about. A good bullet can also substitute a good subheadline. That is, you write a bullet and you're like, oh, that bullet would be a really good subheadline for the overcoming objections section. Second thing that you write is your headline and your subheads. Then you can start moving your bullets into your appropriate subheads. That is the different sections of your copy. The third thing you want to write is your lead. Your lead is pretty simply the thing that overcomes the main objections. What is in it for me? Why should I care? Why should I read the rest of this? What is the promise that you're going to make? Etc. The fourth thing you write is the offer. And then your body, the proof, overcoming objections, is the last thing you write. The offer is where you end up. The lead is where you begin. Once you have these two things written, well, then it becomes really easy to just bridge the gap between them. Do it in this order, and you'll never have a problem writing a landing page again. You know how much I hate giving step-by-step guides. This is a step-by-step guide. Use placeholders. Oh, you couldn't think of a clever word? Just write bracket, word, bracket, and then keep writing. Don't let yourself get bogged down in stuff that you're having trouble thinking about. Good writing is in the rewriting. Porter Stansberry wrote his first sales letter out by hand on a legal pad. And what he would do is he would go to Mark Ford, aka Michael Masterson, and he would read his copy out loud. And Mark would just shit on it. And then Porter would disappear and he'd rewrite, and then he'd come back. He wrote 27 drafts of this sales letter. I showed you how long a sales letter can be. And he did it by hand. And he got critiques after reading it out loud orally. Oftentimes, if you want something good, you're going to have to rewrite it a few times. And by rewrite it, I mean like literally delete everything and start over. The last thing that's going to help you is to have fun with this. If you can't figure out a way to make this fun for you, you're not going to do it. So what I want you to do is to figure out ways to make this fun and exciting for you. I think we're finally at the point where it's time to like start reviewing a landing page and actually give comments on it. But before we do, I want to take a few minutes just to answer some major questions that you have, some major issues. Noah, do you want to come and join us for the question and answer session? He says yes. Was any of that helpful for you?
Yeah. Are you kidding? You guys always deliver value.
Just because we're paying you, you don't need to actually lie to us and make us feel good.
That is a paid
not
testimony.
a lie. No, I always tell people that like having you guys as a resource is so beneficial to me in my career. I had like an hour-long call with you, Sean, the other day, just about like client acquisition, and it completely opened my eyes to a new strategy that like I tried. So I know the value that you guys deliver.
I know that Noah now will probably look at the landing pages written and will probably have taken a few notes during that and be like, oh, damn, like I know I should have done that or should have done that. I have not seen Noah's landing page yet either.
I did a little bit of rewriting as we were going. I think that there are some pretty obvious problems with the landing page, but I don't really know how to solve them. So I guess that's where you guys come in.
Look at this. vidIQ. Your vidIQ coach is ready to help you grow your channel. Meet one-on-one with your YouTube coach and never get stuck guessing at what to do next for your channel. Like, you can easily replace this. Your personal video editor is ready to help you grow your YouTube channel.
This is something that I have to get over. I recognize this, but whenever I look at my competitors' stuff, which I do, it's incredibly discouraging because it feels like these people know so much more than I do. And it's really intimidating to try to compete with like the top brands or whatever services in this industry.
Just because your competitors are up here, that doesn't mean there's no space for you down here. When Copy That started, Alex Catoni like owned YouTube copywriting. We've still managed to like niche out like a pretty solid chunk of the YouTube copywriting space. You don't need to be at the top to still get everything that you want.
We need like 1 or 2 more clients to like give us consistent work, and we will be able to safely move out, get our own place, get our own office space. We're going to be doing that anyway because the business is profitable. But if we had like another client or 2, we would be doing really well.
Something that I can tell you right now I would be leaning into if I was you is the fact that you're not a big agency and you're not like just fucking trying to churn in and churn out customers with like loads of different teams. Like it's you, it's like 1 or 2 other people, and you give all your clients like that fucking so close attention.
We could get into this more after we answer some questions.
What would you say to people that get irked by copy and say it's too used car salesman-y? When is too much too much? Alex, I think you have some strong opinions about this. In fact, we have a whole video.
The number 1 rule, first of all, is it's too much when the client who's paying you says it's too much is the bottom line. If a person is paying you money to do something and they say, I don't want it like this, I want it like that, you do it like that. The only, and I mean the only signifier of whether something's successful or not is how well it does when it's out in the world. Like, that's it.
If a landing page is okay, should I still try to contact the business and offer improving the page? I'm leaning towards no.
Yeah, definitely no. The whole point of trying to convince someone that you can do a better job for them is by kind of giving evidence of how you can do that job better. And if you don't think you can do it better, what are you going to say? Believe me, you're not going to have this problem. There are tons of terrible landing pages. Most of
the pages are terrible landing pages.
You're about to see
one.
one.
Might even be looking at one
Minutes.
momentarily.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're all no. I believe in you, Noah.
I like how Noah and I made the same joke at the same time.
Listen,
Yeah, but for him it's okay. For you, it's rude.
No, it's not rude. I'm expecting to get it torn to pieces.
I'm glad that you're expecting that, because the moment that we say, hey, this is pretty good, you're going to feel really good.
Yeah. There's a few like good things about it. I tried to take this stuff that I've learned from the hours and hours and hours of content that I've watched from you guys. So
when practicing landing page copy, do you make up the product or service? Can you use a real one and just disclaim it from the get-go? Yes. The answer is yes and yes. If you go to the practicing copy masterclass that I just did, I went from like not knowing what I was going to write about to a full practice piece in about 30 minutes. When you are doing a landing page, you can certainly use somebody else's product. You can certainly make something up. What matters more is that you do the practice, not what you're writing about. When we are A/B testing, RIOA stays the same, I guess.
If you're trying to split two different messages in copy, like, should you still use the same RIOA? Well, let's just think about that. Like, what arguably would change? Well, you're still going to be writing to the same reader because it's an A/B test, so you're testing something from the same audience. We'll leave idea alone for a second. I'm doing that now. You're still going to be, it's still the same offer because your offer doesn't change, and you still therefore want them to do the same thing. So the only thing that could feasibly change here is something around your idea. Now, whether that is a completely different idea, like you just pull a completely different take on how it can lead to your offer out of somewhere, or it's the same kind of idea but you're just using a different set of copy for it, is up to you. But like, the idea is the only thing you're going to change if you're testing the same of these. However, it's not out of the blue to change the others as well. Like, changing the copy is the most common that you'll do, but there are certainly times where you will split test offers as well. But as a copywriter, and we're just talking about landing page copy, then it's the idea is the thing that's going to change.
When do we use story and landing pages? When there are a lot of objections and a relatively unaware audiences. You can also use stories as proof, examples of like your thing actually working. Is learning copywriting, marketing, automation, platforms, and design the 3 God cards, the ultimate combo? If I had to say that, like, of the list of financially valuable skills, you want to learn sales, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn product creation, you want to learn capital allocation, you want to learn management or leadership. Those are the 5 financially valuable skills.
The
Pick
6th
2.
one is origami.
Oh, the 6th one is origami. Pick 2 of those 5 and you will be a millionaire. If you get really good at 2 out of those 5, I'm not going to guarantee this. Actually, I am going to guarantee this. If you become masterfully good at 2 of those 5 things I just listed, you will become a millionaire. And if you're not a millionaire, it's because you're not good enough.
That's the rub. That's the thing that covers legal.
Is A/B testing by showing different prices common? Not only is it common, it's a thing that you should do.
This looks familiar.
Hey, this does look kind of familiar.
Could you actually refresh the page? Because I've done some stuff.
Oh.
I didn't do a lot of like formatting, so forgive me for that. Someone earlier asked what the meaning behind the name is. To put it simply, when I was like a little baby and I didn't know how to speak, whenever we would like arrive anywhere, like pull into a driveway or something, I'm pretty sure I was trying to like mimic a doorbell sound. So I go Dito. And so now it just sort of means like we've arrived.
That's so sweet. I like that.
Noah, edit that out.
Okay, yeah. Just take it. No. Instead, actually, I'm going to edit like in some completely out of context Sean quotes to make you look terrible.
I'm actively trying to suck your ass.
I have all the power here.
Ass.
You got to be nice to me, especially for this video.
Ass.
So we answered your questions. Let's actually look at a real landing page that Noah wrote and give some feedback, give some ideas for how he can improve it using the advice that we've given over the course of this particular masterclass. This way that you, when you write a landing page, can look back over what you've written and hopefully improve it as well. You've got the good idea. Now it's time to snag 7 free attention-grabbing YouTube shorts in just 1 week from the capable hands of attention experts. Claim now. Where does this go? Okay, go straight to that. Here's an example of how we can elevate your brand with YouTube Shorts. The market is going to crash because it's so overvalued. Oh no! People have been worried about this for years. And yeah, if you compare the price of the S&P 500 to its long-term average, we don't need to watch me talk about finance.
I love that video, though. I think it came out great. This is where I feel like I have too much copy, but, we'll get to that.
It can feel impossible to get your message to stand out. Don't get buried under all the noise. Kind of ironic that you just said there's too much copy. It's literally getting buried under all the noise.
I know. I see the irony.
You know how difficult it can be to manage the creation of YouTube content on top of the difficult task of maintaining attention and building an audience. You're throwing too much stuff into that sentence. Most people don't even realize just how much time and energy is required to market to YouTube. I'll give you a quick hint. When you find yourself going, manage the creation of YouTube content on top of this other thing, and this, and then the following sentence is also another, realize how much time and energy is required to market on YouTube. What you're doing is you're trying to cram as many details as possible because you feel like you don't want to leave stuff out. That's what other sentences are for. You don't need to cram everything into every single sentence. It becomes glaringly obvious when you repeat the same syntactic structures over and over again. You're just like cramming stuff. You have to write a script or outline, find proper equipment and lighting, film something interesting, and edit it together. After all that, there isn't even a guarantee that anyone will see what you've made. You know you've got something good. It's time for the world to see it. Leave the hard work to the experts. Deep Dope Productions has been growing online brands via YouTube and other platforms since 2021, amassing millions of views. Yada, yada, yada. Our team of attention experts specialize in enhancing what you've done. Maybe it's a 10-minute video essay. Maybe it's a 3-minute vlog. Yada, yada. We'll collaborate. Brand image. Okay. The secret is a consistent volume of quality content. We found that it takes around 7 good impressions to make someone subscribe to your content and come back for more. We've found is less credible than experts show, and that's even less credible than we've seen after working with dozens of brands and editing hundreds of videos, that it takes about 7 good impressions.
The reality is, I think I just heard that from you.
That means that at the bare minimum, you'd have to write 7 scripts, coordinate the production and publication of 7 pieces of content, and all of them would have to leave a lasting impression on your target audience. Wouldn't it make life so much easier if you could automate this process? Just press record and have everything else taken care of. Wouldn't you feel more free to use your time effectively if you knew you didn't have to worry about those 7 impressions? You're in luck because we've got your back, and don't just take our word for it. Oh, and hey, it's a quote from me.
Hey, I know that guy.
Contact us for your 7 free shorts.
I'm not going to talk about anything you've written, Noah. I'm going to talk about, first of all, something we spoke about earlier, which is the context of the person who's going to be reading this. If I'm interested in an offer around video creation services and video editing, that means I am actively looking for a video editor. I don't need you to tell me that I need to get impressions and stuff to do videos. I already know that I need a video editor. And that is the kind of person you should be aiming for. Maybe your kind of rationale behind this has been that, I want to kind of show people that video editing is worthwhile. I wouldn't even worry about people who don't think it's worthwhile straight away. Go for people who are already looking for video editors and realize that they want to take their YouTube to the next level. So let's think about that person. What they want to see proof of is that someone in a very frictionless way can create the kind of content that they want. That's all they need to see here. So you need to show a bunch more. I would use a GIF version of maybe a couple of shorts at the top in the hero section, just showing awesome edits, awesome animations, and that immediately is your proof. So they go oh God, that looks cool. Right, I know that this is the kind of content that I want. The offer. 2 things I would say about this. I don't think that you need to give this offer in order to get interest. You can just have hey, I'm a good video editor for you because we're a 3-person operation who only work with, X clients at X number of clients at a time. We're not a big agency. We're not just trying to shill stuff out as quickly as possible money. We only focus on quality. Show your content and then going, oh wow, if I'm looking for a video editor and I like those things and that is proof to me, great, I'm going to contact you.
We could definitely leverage the angle that we only need another 2 clients. Are you going to be one of our 2 clients that we need in order to grow?
Yes, that's exciting. There's natural scarcity there. What you're then doing is not sign up for your 7 free shorts. What you're saying is, apply. Apply to be our client. Then you can have a whole section that's like, we are a boutique agency that specializes in YouTube content marketing. We only work with clients that we want to work with. Will you be one of them? Apply below.
I like that. Apply. Yeah.
Then you can double down into it's a one-on-one process. We don't like shuffle you off to juniors. You work with an expert who has personally edited however many hundreds of videos and now oversees the production of hundreds of videos. That is the one-on-one expertise and attention that you get. I think you are above a beginner copywriter level, and you're not even a copywriter, so that's great.
I'll take it. Yeah.
But like you are thinking in a way of like you've seen good copy and you're trying to like emulate good copy and you understand good copy, but you're just doing it in the wrong context. Like this isn't a place where you need to use the stuff that you've seen, like, you know, Sean and us analyze, you know?
Yeah. This is a gimmick. If you're trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel and like apply to people, specifically to content creators that do long form, this is what you would use if you're trying to like fill the pipeline. You don't need to do this. If anything, this devalues the service that you're offering. And I think that you actually would stand a better chance of getting better clients, higher paying clients, if you went the other direction. If like you actually had a whole section justifying why you charge so much.
There was this strategy that I wanted to deliver that's going to take me a lot of time, but like I'm kind of okay with it because there's a YouTuber that I've been following recently called Caleb Hammer. He does a show called Financial Audit. He's got almost 1 million subscribers, but I look at the editing of some of their videos and like they're literally, some of them are just unexcusable. So I'm going through a lot of his videos and finding timestamps of like places where there were like pretty bad editing mistakes and even highlighting the ones that are unforgivable. And then once I'm done with that, I kind of want to like send them that list and be like, hey, I found all of these errors and I don't really know where to go from there, but like that's kind of just my step one.
Another thing that you can say is like, I've worked with other financial YouTubers before.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that I can do. If you want me to do this kind of stuff for you, I would be happy to do that because I'm such a fan of your stuff.
And then you also, in the PS, link them to this timestamp on this video on YouTube, and you say, I spoke about this with the channel who I've already helped grow to like this and do the editing with. Hey, Caleb, if you're watching this, hire Noah. He's fucking awesome.
Caleb Hammer, I also am a fan of your stuff. I love your financial audits. Seriously, hire Noah. He can take some work off your plate. So that you can like tell more dumb millennials to be better with their money.
This is actually really funny. I was just watching an episode of his where a guy named Noah got hired because he made a video calling him out. So that's kind of hilarious. Round 2, Caleb. Bring on another Noah who's going to be an asshole to you.
I don't really have very much else to say. Alex, thank you for doing this masterclass with me. Noah, thank you for sitting on the sidelines for this brief conversation that we had about the page. I feel like I need to like bring Kyle back on. He's just peace out, copy squad, and then he ends the stream.
I'm sorry. Someone said more Noah is better. I agree. I think we should have Noah on the show all the time.
You fucking asshole.
Peace out, copy that. There we go.